family. You are listening to the Classroom and the Cell podcast. This is marclamonthill, your brother, and I am joined by
your other brother, Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Mumia, this has been a crazy time in the United States. Obviously, there's lots of protests about lots of stuff going on in the world, but the Gaza protest has led to a kind of policing and militarization and criminalization of college students all around the country. I'm watching University of Pennsylvania here in Philly. I'm watching Columbia University in New York. I'm looking at places like that where students are literally being arrested. I saw the daughter of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar was suspended from Barnard College at Columbia University for participating in protests. I mean, it's crazy. What is going on?
I think it's the nature of the protests, and unlike protests in a general sense, it's the content of those protests. Because, and it's also the dynamic of what happened to the sister from Harvard, and I can't even remember the other university, but...
Oh, it was Penn. Yeah. It was Harvard and Penn, yep.
Harvard and Penn. What happened is this rump Republican interrogator-in-chief used public shaming, so to speak, and fast and hard talk to intimidate academic leaders into bowing to their position, right? And, you know, like think about the positions that politicians...
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Mahanoy.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Think about the positions they've taken in the last 4 or 5 years, and you find that politicians really have little to say, right, about what's right and what's wrong in society. And that's essentially so when it comes to the Gaza situation. And under the guise of protecting people from anti-Semitism, they have really put a speech code in effect across the United States of America. And at the risk of people being facing state repression, the threat of no jobs if they do graduate. And, you know, so it's like a tensor maneuver, right? On one side, you have the repressive system of the state, the police. The other, you have the repressive power of corporation, right? Saying, we will not hire you if you say certain words at a protest. I mean, we haven't seen stuff like this since the 60s, really. The so-called free speech movement in Berkeley and stuff like that. But it is here, and it's here because of what is happening in Gaza and the human outrage and protest among the young when they see this, because they've never seen anything like this up close. And the closest we can come to historically is during the 60s when, for the first time, people turned on TV and saw the Vietnam War up close and personal. And what it did is it radicalized hundreds of thousands of people, students.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Mahanoy.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
You think of the May 1968 demonstrations in France, right? It shook the world. And
absolutely.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm not saying we're at that period, but it is possible because that repression seems to have failed, especially when we think about Columbia. Those kids came right back, you know, filled up the campus and are making sure they get heard today. In the face of repression by an Arab American president.
Well, that's the crazy part. Can you imagine?
Of Colombia.
An Arab American president of Colombia who's meeting with...
Female president, yeah.
Female president, woman president, meeting with a black mayor.
And a Latino police commissioner.
Right.
A Latina police
right.
commissioner.
All to criminalize students of color.
Yeah. You know, doing the bidding of their boss. And, you know, like, Constitution be damned. It's like, you can't say that. You can't sing that. You can't protest. You certainly can't defend the right of Palestinians to self-determination or statehood, because that is defined as anti-Semitic. I heard a prominent Jewish lawyer, right, real famous, I won't name him, but I saw it last night, and he said anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Like, really? Like, really?
and that's the position they're taking at this point.
That's the position they're taking at this point, because they're trying to push all the buttons of maximum intimidation, right, to shut people's mouths so that their protests not be heard. And think about this. This generation on their phones, because this isn't the TV thing, this is on their phone, are seeing a kind of naked repression that they have never seen before. Think about Brother George Floyd, right?
Very
and
true.
How this is one brother with a knee on his neck pleading for his life. Now you're looking at a community, right? A nation under subjugation, an open-air prison like Gaza, and at least 33,000 men, women, and children murdered, bombed, shot. And they're seeing children who are limbless, who are pale because there's no blood in their bodies. I mean, they're seeing this, and they're seeing fathers and mothers go insane from the pain of what they're seeing and what they're experiencing. If this is not a moment for protest, there should not ever be another moment for protest.
So how does this end, right? Does the world get so outraged that students are getting locked up that they start to make a different choice? Or are universities going to no longer be a site of resistance that we hoped and thought they would be and that they always have been?
Professor Joy James says that the university is the academic arm of the empire. He is so right. I mean, we can't romanticize what universities are. Because they are the assembly of immense economic, but also social and cultural power, right? That's where people go to learn what's happening in the world, and also their entree into profession, right? Into the sciences, into further economic life up the chain and the ladder of America. And, when people go to, here's the real kick. When people go to university sometimes, this is the first time they ever really study history, because what they learn is when they were in junior high school, I call it junior high school, middle school, elementary school,
old school.
high school. I'm old school. I can't be otherwise. When they went there, they learned lies. They learned myths. They didn't learn the truth, because the truth was too harsh for children to bear. So says the political structures that control those institutions. But often when they go to college and study things in depth and really see American history, it transforms consciousness. They're like, damn, this happened in America? Yeah. Right? Now they turn on their phones and they're watching a war that is so one-sided. It is beyond
indefensible. It's just indefensible at this point, the blood and the death and the violence. You can't pretend that this is a just process, no matter what your politics are on Israel-Palestine.
Cannot. It's about power, and it's about repression, and it's about the ability of the state, right, to exact punishment on people for unpopular beliefs. Isn't that why America got formed, right? Didn't people come here fleeing?
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
That was the story.
That's the rap. Now, is that a myth or is it the truth? We shall see. History will judge us in this era. And, it'll either be glorious or it'll be ignominious. Uncool.
And I'm from North Philly. I don't know what ignominious means, but if it means fucked up, I'm with you.
There you go. We speaking in Ebonics now. Okay.
That's right. That's right. But I think it will also hopefully get people to stop championing brown leadership and black leadership and minority leadership for its own sake. Because again, between Eric Adams and the presidents of these universities and the women in these universities and the black people in these universities, and the brown people, they're leading the repression just as much as everybody else.
That's right. This woman's name is Minouche Shafiq. I saw her giving a rap at Congress, and she learned her lesson well. She's a smart cookie. She was like, oh, no.
Right. She watched and learned.
Watched and learned. She's smart, You don't become president of a university if you're stupid. And she was like, I ain't going out like Sissy Girl. That ain't
exactly.
happening. Brother man, the tyranny of the clock has hit us.
Understood. Well, the tyranny of Brother Malcolm, my son, is also hitting us. He's like, will you two Negroes be quiet? I'm trying to go to sleep.
Man. He want to play with Daddy.
Exactly.
All right, buddy. I love you, man. Great to hear you, and let's do it again.
Yes, sir. We're going to talk again this week, and I can't wait to talk to you. There's so much going on. We got a lot to build on, brother. Love you.
Love you, brother. Peace and strength.
On the move.
The caller has hung up.
All right, family. You've been listening to the Classroom in the Cell podcast with Marc, Lamont, and Mumia, Abu-Jamal. To listen to more episodes, go to Marc Lamont Hill's official YouTube channel and check out all episodes of the Classroom in the Cell, as well as other content, including Night School, a Monday to Friday 10:30 p.m. nightly conversation with Marc Lamont Hill on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Hit the like button.